at our state capitol right before the new legislative session begins. I'm Dana Wolf Neymark. I'm President and CEO of Children's Action Alliance. And we're here today with our partners representing parents and teachers and faith leaders and community leaders and champions for public education all throughout our state. And we're here with a message, a call to action for Governor Ducey and our new state legislature that the time is now to act and create dedicated, sustained funding for public education. We just went through an election season where we saw education being a top issue discussed and asked about by voters all across this state. We know there are many options that can work to create sustained revenue for public education, and we are ready to be at the table and work toward a bipartisan plan that gets us to a solution we can all be proud of and gets us to resources that our children can count on for the generation to come. We are sharing with you and with our lawmakers 5 key principles. They're in your packet. And as the dialogue goes forward this session, we will be using these principles to promote the debate and to evaluate every proposal that comes forward. The principles are we need more than $1 billion per year to get the impact we need for our students. The hole we have dug for ourselves is very great. And if we're going to turn the corner on public education, from early education all the way through higher education, we need a significant investment that matters. We need sustainable revenue that won't go away the next time there's an economic downturn, that won't be diverted to other priorities when new politicians get elected. We need a fair solution that improves fairness for middle income and low income families and our overall tax system and education finance system. We need a solution that meets students' needs. It should be designed so that it is targeted to what students need most and targeted to close our achievement gap. And we need accountability, and that comes from transparency, it comes from our public governance, and we don't need to add complicated new layers of accountability. And now I'm happy to introduce Joe Thomas, President of the Arizona Education Association.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Joe Thomas, Joethomas. I am a social studies teacher from Mesa, and I currently serve as the Arizona Education Association president. AEA has 20,000 members across the state in every school district, from classroom teachers and administrators to school psychologists, social workers, administrative assistants up front, bus drivers. If you work in a school, you're a member of the Arizona Education Association, and we are here to echo what it was that Dana said. Our students and our schools need funding now. We cannot wait to kick the can down the road once again. We need to see impactful, dedicated funding sent to our schools, to our students end up with the schools that they deserve. You can see through the recent research and survey that the Arizona School Personnel Administrators Association, the fourth annual survey they put out, by how many teaching positions are open in the state of Arizona, to see that we have thousands of classrooms impacting tens of thousands of students that do not have a certified, qualified educator leading that classroom. We need to do more. We need to do better for our students across the state. That's why every legislator and the governor and virtually everybody in the state of Arizona running for office ran saying they would support students, teachers, in schools. And we are here to hold them accountable. We cannot kick the road down to 2020. We need to see real funding in our schools now. The governor and the legislature must act. That's the mandate that the voters gave them, and they must act in a bipartisan manner. They must act in the best interest of our students and our schools. If they refuse to act, if they continue to ignore the problem, if they continue to ignore educators, then I think that we will see a repeat of last year. We will see our educators that will realize that if they are going to be ignored in their one-on-one conversations, in their emails, that they will have to act in a statewide manner again. And I am confident that if we do not see an adult conversation around getting real funding into our schools, then I know thousands of teachers, I know thousands of social workers, I know thousands of counselors, parents, and business owners who will take out petitions and will put Invest in Ed right back on the ballot. We know it is popular. We are absolutely convinced it was passed, and I have seen polling since the election that shows that voters are ready to do it again. So I know we can do it again. That is our option on the table, but we want to work with the governor and the legislature to bring funding to our schools now. That's why we're here today, and we just need to give our students the schools that they deserve. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Reverend Jeff Proctor Murphy, JEFF-PROCTER-MURPHY. And I would add to Joe's list, our faith communities are also very supportive. I'm the pastor at Dayspring United Methodist Church, and I'm proud that members of my church collected over 3,000 signatures for the Invest in Ed initiative. Friends, I'm here on behalf of the Arizona Interfaith Network, a network of interfaith projects, the Valley Interfaith Project that represents the greater Maricopa County area, schools, churches, other institutions, grassroots organizing. We also include the Pinal County and the Pima County, as well as the Northern Arizona Interfaith networks. We're concerned about the state of education. Action to assure essential, sustainable investment in public education matters to all Arizonans, regardless of your faith, regardless of your party affiliation, regardless of your zip code. It's long overdue. A generation of young people have been affected by our neglect, jeopardizing their future and the future of our state. We cannot let another year go by. This is a responsibility that we should all shoulder now. This is a process that should be open to all voices and to a variety of options. We foresee a combination plan could very well meet the principles outlined today. This should be a bipartisan effort. It is a nonpartisan issue, but it is a deeply moral issue. Friends, my dad was an elementary school teacher. He retired after 30 plus years teaching in the Madison School District. I have two siblings who recently retired, also from the Madison School District. Education is dear to my heart. Investment in our workforce, in our teachers, and in our next generation matters to people all across Arizona. People from all faiths, walks of life, and political parties. We urge a bipartisan dialogue to create a plan for dedicated investments with a combination of revenues that together meet our common goals. Thank you.
So to sum up, we are here not reflecting a small group or a narrow agenda. We are here amplifying the message of all of Arizona. Expect More Arizona released a poll just this week of voters across this state. Large majorities across party lines, across walks of life. 78% of voters said teachers earn too little here in our state and in our classrooms. 73% said the funding going to public education is too low. So again, we call on Governor Ducey and the new state legislature to listen to your voters, to listen to the citizens of Arizona, to work with all of us, and to take action. We're happy to answer any questions.
How far have you come in the last year? What more needs to be done? Something was accomplished last year.
Yeah, well, we've come a long way in terms of Arizonans coming together and speaking together with a united voice about our needs. We saw a down payment from the governor and the legislature, but remember, we have dug ourselves a very deep hole over the past 20 years with disinvestments year after year after year in early education, K-12 education, and higher education. So that down payment is a good thing, but what we know is that the needs remain urgent and huge, and the teacher shortage remains a crisis in our classrooms today. So we've taken some steps together, but now we need bold action. We need bigger action, and we need a long-term plan. And it's up to the people we just elected to lead, working with us to lead in that direction.
Let me ask you something, Joe. You talk about bringing Invest in Ed potentially back to the ballot. Is it the opinion of the AEA that an Invest in Ed style income tax hike is preferable to a Sylvia Allen style sales tax increase proposal?
Well, I'm fairly agnostic when it comes to revenue streams. I want to support what it is that we believe that the voters will support. And we have seen that the voters have said 270,000 of them signed the petitions to put it on the ballot last time around. Again, we've seen polling that shows that they want to still invest. Let's remember also what it took last year to move us just a little bit. It took 70,000 educators, 6 days in a row, coming down here. That's what we're worried about again, and that's what makes me frustrated about what Senator Allen has proposed. Is what she has put out is going to impact schools in 21, 22. That's 3 years away. Our students cannot wait that long, and that's why we're calling today for a bipartisan effort to get some new revenue in our schools this session that will impact the schools next year. So what the funding mechanism looks like, I think that's open to debate, but I do know that we have a long way to go to make sure that we're giving our schools, our students, the schools that they deserve.
And given any remedies that come about this legislative session, how quickly can they remedy the teacher shortage that we have, and what is the current teacher shortage?
Well, I'll defer to the document that the Administrators Association put out. I believe it shows that there's about 3,000 classrooms that don't have a certified qualified teacher in them, another 1,000 classrooms that have either been shuttered or that they have another administrator that's kind of doing double time administrating and also teaching. And we've not seen the needle move on that much at all. And again, we need to see an adult conversation about this. Let's not forget the governor's down payment, I think is the perfect word that Dana has used, on his 20 by 2020 plan started out as 2 by 2022, a 2% raise over 5 years. That's what the thinking down here at the legislature believes is going to address the crisis in teaching. Hopefully we moved the needle on that understanding last year. That's why I'm saying that they have to have real conversations. The voters have elected them to come down here and have a real conversation and put real dollars into our classrooms. Otherwise, our educators know what they have to do to convince the governor to move the needle even more. I don't want to see that again this year, but I am convinced it can happen.
Any other questions? Thank you all. We're here for a few more minutes if you want to talk to anybody individually. Thank you for coming.
Joe, I did get you aside. Good. Doing okay.
That's why I have sunglasses on.
Too many wires.
I know.